Analyst. Nintendo is likely looking at pretty dry pipeline this year after reports of Q2 2025 delay. According to a leak, Nintendo is looking at very dry pipeline this year. I do think we will have like one major bestseller this year if the Switch 2 is likely released in 2025. The 3DS had one major game before. Again, one major game in 2016, the year before the Switch came out, and that was the Ultra games. We could very well have Pokemon Let's Go Johto games, even though I'm not too thrilled about it. Again, if they really want to make that game the last Switch Pokemon game and save the actual good games for the Switch too, I don't think people should really be complaining about that all too much. Because yes, as much as I do not like the Let's Go games and many others don't like them too much for being, the simple pieces of garbage that just let Pokemon Go, Go sequels. But people don't really like Pokemon Go all too much. I don't think people even play Pokemon Go anymore besides casual Pokemon fans who don't even play real Pokemon games. Like, there's a huge divide between Pokemon fans and, you know, casual Pokemon fans. Casual Pokemon fans only play Pokemon Go, and Pokemon fans who actually play the games play Pokemon games. But again, Pokemon fandom is in disarray after the failure of Pokemon Scarlet Violet. So yeah. What other games could be released that are not Pokemon related? You know, I really do not know. I know Thousand Door and Pete's Game are pretty major games. I know people say that Pete's Game isn't a major game, but again, they're trying to make Princess Peach Showtime the next Luigi's Mansion, the next Wario Wow, the next the next big Mario spinoff. I see that being pretty likely. So Nintendo is probably doing the Switch too because they want the Peach game to sell well. Thousand Door, they really want to say, hey, do you really actually like the old style Paper Mario? And they would hamper the game coming out if they release the Switch 2. Okay. So Nintendo could say, buy Paper Mario, buy the Pete's game. I think the Switch 2 will probably be revealed around June. I think there'll be a Nintendo Direct for the last remaining Switch games. Nintendo will say, yeah, we're making a new console expected to be announced in June, around June. So yes, I do think Nintendo could announce the hit at the console, say that when they announce the console, that would get people excited for the Switch 2, because June is probably a pretty likely date the console will be announced. Nintendo will say that's what Nintendo will probably put the March Direct. I think that's what they'll do. They'll have a March Direct. They'll basically say at the one last announcement, and you know they'll announce a 3D Mario game, and they'll basically announce it as a hint for the Switch successor. Saying basically once they announce 3D Mario game, it says look forward to more news about the next 3D Mario game, and also the Switch successor being announced in June as well. Basically, I think that would be a perfect way to basically say, hey, the console exists. Stop making rumors about it, and I think that will make everybody happy. Hey, yes, 2024 will be a pretty boring year, but there is this thing we can look forward to in 2025. And Nintendo will announce the release date and everything for the Switch 2. Like, everybody will be expecting that to be happy. But yeah, I think the full, massive, yes, Nintendo will confirm the console exists, but they won't announce. But they'll announce the release date, games, and everything in June. I think that is the likely thing Nintendo's doing. I think Nintendo did delay. I think Nintendo was planning to release it in 2025. That was always the plan. But supposed to be these weekends got it wrong, and I got it right yet again. What do you think about this? What do you think Nintendo will release as the last Switch only games? I do think the Switch will be supported in 2025 and 2026. Kind of like how the 3DS was supported for people who are not gonna buy the new console right away. I think that's what they're gonna do as well. I think Nintendo will in 2025. Besides like the massive games, you know, there'll be games that'll be dual Switch and dual Switch 2. I think that will be pretty likely to happen. And same thing with 2026. I think 2027 is when Nintendo fully abandons the Switch and says, yeah, you're buying a new console now. You have no choice, okay, or something like that. And yeah, I'm actually now a bit excited for the Switch 2 because if the reason I haven't been quote unquote excited for the Switch 2 because Nintendo has not confirmed anything about the Switch 2. if Nintendo confirms something about the Switch 2, I mean, this is why, because I could be excited for a console that Nintendo has not confirmed. It's just that simple. You can't be excited for something that doesn't exist or has not been confirmed as well. Of course, Nintendo has not denied the Switch 2 existing, but again, I think the Switch 2 rumors are all like the Switch Pro again. Okay, everyone was expecting it to release in 2024, and the Switch 2, the Switch Pro will come out in 2022. But I do think Nintendo has new hardware in the works, considering how old the Switch is. But Nintendo was 100% right that the Switch was the main focus of 2024. So yeah, I think the weekend eventually realized that yes, the Switch is Nintendo's main focus for 2024 for game titles, and the Switch 2 might be the main focus or partial or main focus of 2025, with the Switch taking a back seat. With Nintendo still giving us games for I foresee it be like an NES and Super Nintendo situation. The Switch 2 gets a lot of support for the big, massive games, but for some of the smaller games, it's Switch 2. I foresee that happening. Kind of like an NES and SNES type situation, because the NES was supported up until 1994 with Wario's Woods coming to the NES. I do foresee small games, small titles being dual Switch and dual Switch 2. I foresee the last Switch game coming out in 2027, very similar to NES by Nintendo. It was the same thing with the 3DS. The 3DS was supported until 2019, when the very last game for the 3DS was released in 2019 by Nintendo and was discontinued shortly after. I also do foresee in the few 2030 the Switch Online to be discontinued. I do see the Nintendo Switch Online subscription service and all of its things continuing until the Switch 2. Considering the fact that all the games on the Switch Online are emulators, Nintendo can just port the emulators very quickly onto the Switch 2 without very little effort, considering the fact that this console probably has been developed on for years. So I foresee all the Game Boy Advance games, all the Game Boy games, NES, Super Nintendo games, N64 games with backwards compatibility, which again is a new technology considering the fact that the Xbox does it very easily. I do see Nintendo doing backwards compatibility with every Switch title on the Switch 2. Nintendo will just make it backwards compatible as well, which means you can transfer all your games to the Switch 2 before the Switch 1's on eShop is discontinued. And that's it about this video here. So what do you think about the Play Dry pipeline this year? Again, it happens with every console. Okay, the last year of the DS was actually pretty big, but the last year of the 3DS, you started to notice that the games started to come out less frequently. The Wii 2012 was basically no games were releasing for the Wii. The Wii was basically a dead. 2011 you had the last major games come out. I could see 24. You're still gonna have like a major game come out in 2024 too, because of course if the Switch is Nintendo's making focus, they're still gonna want to watch consoles. They're not gonna shoot themselves in the foot. Okay, over the Switch 2. Okay, the DS they still released Pokemon Black and White a year before the 3D. I know it's the US release, but they released. I think Pokemon Black and White came out in 2011, but it came out in 2010 in Japan. Yeah, but Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver came out. Pokemon Black and White came out, and major games still came out for the DS in 2011, despite the 3DS coming out. Anyway, Black and White came out 2010, a year before the 3DS came out. The 3DS came out 2011, but Nintendo still supported the DS for until 2012, and then they realized that the 3DS needs to be our main focus. Okay, and the same thing with the GameCube. Once the Wii came out, the GameCube, they stopped supporting the GameCube 100%. I foresee the Wii, the Switch becoming like the 3DS or DS, or they'll support the DS until even after a year the Switch 2 comes out. Now, but once they see that most people buy the new console over the old console, it'll kind of be like the set in stone. The Switch is done for. And people have moved on to a successor. Goodbye.